Hi everybody, my name is Huub Hildenbrand. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we have lesson 8 of 4-note structures, and we will see what kind of 4-note structures actually are implied in a normal scale, and we will check each of these 35 4-note structures here. So let's get right into the endless ocean of music. Please, down in the description, there you find a link to download the PDF for this lesson, and the third page will actually really be what we will refer to, and also on the first 2 pages you will get some explanations which you will not find here in the lesson. So to be really sure that you understand this, what we are talking about today, you should download it and print it out and have it in front of you. Okay, so thank you. The thing is, we in lesson 4 we analyzed, we took one 4-note structure and analyzed it in relation to all the possible 12 roots. So in all the possible contexts it can function. And now we do a little different approach. We go from the other side. We take actually one harmony. In our case, we take a G minor chord, and we pick a certain scale for that. Because if you are familiar with chord scale theory, you know that every scale equals or implies a certain chord and vice versa. So to really have the full tonal material of a harmony, of a chord, or of a musical situation, musical moment, you can say, you need the scale. You need these. Mostly these are 7 notes, like all these church modes or the modes of harmonic minor, harmonic major, melodic minor. They're all 7-note scales, heptatonics, and when you have a 7-note scale, actually, there are 35 different 4-note structures implied. So there are 35. Sometimes I see it like perspectives. You know, you have like one thing. That's our harmony or our chord scale. In this case, I take the Dorian scale, so we have G minor Dorian, and we look at it from different perspectives. So all these 35 4-note structures, they come all from this G Dorian scale, so they are all implied, but of course they have only 4 notes of them, so they give us just one perspective of the whole thing. And if you have the whole set, you see from all sides, you can say. And that's actually quite interesting, because a lot of times we tend to be satisfied if we know, okay, we can play G minor Dorian here over that chord, we can improvise. But actually there are a lot of different shades and perspective of that sound. And these we will cover in this lesson. And on the second page of the PDF, you see these different functions. You have like tonic functions, you have cadence chords, you have functions which are, sounds which are not useful, and you have ambiguous, ambivalent sounds, which are not really tonic, but also not really cadence chords. They can be, they're like sort of in between. They can maybe, if you play it in a certain way, they can belong more to that or that group. And so the idea to have these 35 4-note structures and to to check them, to hear them, to analyze them, is in a way a kind of different approach than the traditional approach. It's more like an approach, here is everything, and now we sort out what is actually useful for our purpose. And by sorting out, by going through the all possibilities, of course we find a lot of stuff which maybe in another way we wouldn't. So that's the approach here. So we have some sounds which are actually not nice, not so useful, but other maybe are very nice, and maybe you never really thought about them. So this will hopefully also open up some new possibilities here for you. Okay, I have this page in front of me with these 35 4-note structures, the names, and I put on a drone, a G drone. And I will play these structures melodically, mostly, and I will talk about them. Maybe we don't get to all the structures, but I will. Let's see, and I think when I'm doing this, you will get the idea how it works, how to proceed in this way, so that you're actually able to do that also with other structures, or to finish this page by yourself. By the way, these drones, as I already mentioned, you can also download from guitar-academia.com. There, it's also a file with these 12 drones. Okay, so we take a look at these different 4-note structures, and we will check whether they're useful. Are there more tonic chords? Are there more cadence chords? And I will not start with the first one, like G minor 7. I will just go arbitrary or in my own pass through these different chords, because I want to show you first like 2 chords actually which work really good, two structures which work really good here, and that is G minor with A and G minor with C. Listen to them. G minor with A. These structure as chords. For example, G minor with A is this. It's a beautiful structure. Also, we have a very strange one, but that's also a very nice chord. G, A, D, B flat. I think you get the idea. I think this sounds very, very, very tonic, so to speak. So it really represents this G minor sound. And as you should, if this word tonic confuses you in this context, you should read the PDF, because it's of course not about the tonic like in functional harmony, like the center of the tonality. Okay, then we have also with tonic functions, we have G minor with C. Tiny F inside, but what can you do? So F would be wrong, of course. In a G minor with a C structure, we really, actually, we try to be really puristic about the whole thing. To really, we just have these 4 notes, and everything else is a mistake. Okay, so we have G minor with A and G minor with C, which are very tonic. They have really tonic functions, and of course they have tonic functions because the whole minor triad is in it, and it's really stable, this sound, because it has a root and a perfect fifth, which also is a tonal framework, so that the D, the perfect fifth, stabilizes the G. And that's not just theory, you know. I mean, this is really what an explanation why it sounds as it sounds, or why it works how it works. Then we have a 7th chord, G minor 7. This is also a great has also tonic function. So G minor 7, arpeggio. Okay, this was wrong now. There was also a little C inside. Sometimes it's also hard to just play these 4 notes, because at a certain point your ear wants to have other notes, but then still try to force yourself to stick to these 4 notes and really find out all these possibilities and find out what actually you can do with just these 4 notes, and don't immediately think, oh, I hear this, so I don't play this other tone, so I don't stick to this 4 note structure. No, stay with it and really try find out what kind of a sound you are creating with this. And sometimes by of course with restricting, limiting yourself to just these 4 notes, you will get more and more creative. You have to get creative. Otherwise, it will become very boring very soon. Okay. Another sound what also can work. And now actually we step a little bit into this ambivalent functions. So they are not really clear. I mean, you have to be careful how you play them, on which note you're landing for longer period of time, or which are more accented and which are more passed by quickly. So a more ambivalent structure is 4-part fourths built on A. So A, D, G, C, A, D, G, C. This 4-note structure. Let's listen to this first. structure has a G inside, so a root, and a perfect fifth also, but it also has a major second, the A, and a C, the 4. So if you just see these 4 notes, it's not very clear that this could be like a G minor, like an arpeggio 4-note structure which you can use for G minor. But actually this G and D is a very stable tonal framework sound, so the G as a D really, how do you say, supports the G as a tonic, and the A is like a tension, but it also has a resolution, the G, inside the sound, inside the 4-note structure. So I have an A, but I also have its resolution. And then the C, this will be resolved to the D, because the D and the G are the chord tones, the strong tones, and C and A are the tensions or the non-harmonic functions or tones. And what's missing here is a minor third. So it's you don't hear that it's minor, but of course, if the context, if you have a certain context, and for example you play like B flat major or E flat major or D7 flat 13 in this context before, or mainly before, then you also have the B flat still there, sounding in a way. So it's more natural to hear it as a G minor in a certain context. But of course, if there is no context, if it's just... Actually, we already made a context because I showed you G minor with A and G minor with C, so the B flat is still there in a way. We are in this kind of mood. So I can actually leave out the third, and it's more natural and to hear the B flat, because I never show the B, the major third, up until now. And in this lesson I will never show it. And if I show it, that's a mistake I would have made, and this I would of course not allow to be in this lesson. So I will cut it out. So there's no B in this lesson. All right. What else? So we have a kind of a similar four-note structure, and this is, let me just think, this is a D 4-part fourth structure. So D, perfect fourth to G, perfect fourth to C, perfect fourth to F. And if I take a look at this structure, actually, I like to call it also G7 sus4. Because when you arrange it in a different way, like this, that is really the typical typical G7 sus4 voicing, like a very traditional standard voicing. So I like to think of this four-part fourth structure as a sus chord, because then 7 sus4 chord, because then for me it's more easy to see the logic of the notes, you can say, or to have like a kind of a easier visualization on the fretboard. It's always, if you really recognize something as something, it's easier to understand, of course, than just 4 notes. And when you say it's G7 sus4, you know all the functions, and you know where's my root and where's my minor 7s and my 5ths, and so it's easier to think of that. So if I play this arpeggio, this works also quite nice, and also it works very, very nice also if you combine it with another 4-note structure which has a minor third. Like, as we said, G7 sus4, why not resolving it to a G minor with A, for example? G minor with A, what we had before, like tonic. So we do a first G sus4. You hear it. That would be possible. Maybe it's not that effective, so I think it's maybe not like, wow, these lot of, I mean, a very different sound in a way. There are actually better ones, because maybe also they are more, both have the same function, you can say. They both have tonic functions. Maybe the G, the D 4-part fourth chord is more ambivalent, of course. It can be also heard a bit different, like not really as G as a root or as a G minor basic harmony, but it's not so far away, you can say. Also, if you take a look at it, it's just if you take this D 4-part fourth chord, like this G7 sus4, you just put the C, change it to a B flat, then you already have a G minor 7. So you have this. Maybe this would actually sound also better than this example before with G minor and A. Okay, but of course it all depends on what kind of your preferences are, what kind of music, what kind of style you play, and this is just everything, you know. I mean, these 4-note structures here, they are just all the possibility. So pick up yours and throw away the others. All right, what else do we have here? Okay. There are certain structures actually which are not including the G, the tonic, but they are very connected to a tonic function, because they have a lot of the chord tones and have maybe other tones used in a very you can say like tonic function related way. So for example, we have B flat with C, B flat major triad with a C. If I have a B flat major triad, it's really a G minor 7th chord without the root. So if I hear this G there in the as a drone, it's really the sound of a G minor 7. And then if I add the C, and I work it as a passing tone between B flat and D, and B flat and D actually, they are both the chord tones of the G minor triad. But then instead of G, I have an F. It's also a nice sound I can use when I maybe showed the G in the previous chord or melody. Or if I have a bass there which plays the roots, the G, the low G. So let's listen to this. And it also, at the same time, it has a kind of a cadence like a sort of gravitational pull. There is back to G. And that's because this major triad is so strong that actually the B flat, the root, gets, in a way you hear that it's not a G minor. It's like, and you want to go back. So if I just play this, so you hear that there is a change, and there's actually a change of tonics, you can say. So I'm really thinking I have a kind of a B flat tonic or a B flat major chord with a C, resolving, like moving with this, following this gravitational pull back to G minor. And for G minor, for example, I can use G minor with an A, and then I'm home. Listen to this. B flat over C, B flat with a C, B flat major with a C, and then G minor with an A. This is actually a very nice idea to change between four-note structure while staying on the same of the same chord. And this, of course, this works very well in modal music. If you have a longer period of time for your improvisation, where you stay on one mode, on one scale or one chord, you can really play with these, what I told you before, these different perspectives. You know, you can make different, bring out different colors of this scale. Also, what's working nicely is this E minor 7 flat 5 7th chord, because E minor 7 flat 5 is just a G minor triad and has also an E, the 6th in it, the major 6th. So it's like an inversion of the same notes. So I have G minor, but I also have sound, and it's a very much, it's a Dorian sound, because in the church modes, that's the only mode, Dorian, which has a minor triad and a major 6th possible. So the 6th degree is like major, it's a major 6th. And this has also this tritone, like a chord would be, for example. That's a nice chord also you can use. Also in this case, I prefer to have the open string actually. Also maybe the open E string, so you have a G, an open D, a B flat, and an E as an open string. So you have Okay, what else? Do we have more? Of course. I mean, you can check all these sounds. You can also play. Can also have a 4-part fourth structure on B flat. So B flat, then you have an augmented fourth to A, E, to E. Then you have a perfect fourth to A and another perfect fourth to D. And when you play this as an arpeggio, it's quite ambiguous, you can say. So it's in a way it's not a really strong it doesn't really have its own very strong root, you can say. For example, this B flat with C, this had a really strong root B flat because there was this triad, this major triad, and when you have a major triad, it's very hard to escape actually the gravitational pull of the root. In this case, you don't have a triad and you have this tritone. Of course, you have like a perfect fifth in it, but you have also a perfect fourth, a new version of the perfect fifth. So it can be D, can be kind of a root, A can be kind of a root, but you play also this B flat all the time, and you have this major third here. This also has a gravitational pull, so that the B, when you have a major third, also the lower note gets kind of a stronger center, so to speak, where the D wants to resolve. So the major third also major third also supports B flat as a root here. Check out the tonal harmony lessons. They are really go into depth with this topic. That's a very important topic also to be, and especially now we are. I mean, every time we play with this, with the we have to deal with the gravitational forces in music with perfect fifths and major third, and they're really the strong forces, you can say, in music. One structure is also very nice. I use this quite a lot. It's F with a B flat, and that's like a cadence function chord, because F could be like a cadence chord to G minor. And this added B flat gives you can say gives more context to G minor, but still has a very strong F as a root, so it sounds like how can I play? I play G minor with C, and I go to F major with B flat, and I switch between these two functions. That's actually two structures. It's actually a thing I like to do very often. Okay. very nice. I switch between these two structures, and of course it sounds like I change chords, but this works really nice in a modal context, for example. If you have just this pedal, the bass going through with this drone or with a groove or something like this, and you change the colors. When you get more and more familiar with these individual structures, this is also interesting that sometimes, I mean, you come to a point or to a plateau, so to speak, where these 4-note structures will just come into your playing. I mean, you improvise and suddenly you see, oh, these are these 4 notes. You can in a way you analyze it, or your ear grasps this idea. It hears, and then immediately it's hearing, oh, this is this kind of a structure, and you can elaborate more on this structure, and because you recognized it, and then you can stay with a certain sound, and then you go back to the scale or to another idea, and suddenly another 4-note structure pops up of your playing, and then you can just follow that path. That's a quite interesting procedure. I mean, because these 4-note structures, they come more like from intuition, or from your ear, from your feeling, into your playing, and then you recognize them, and then you stick to them for a certain time. Okay, at the end of this lesson, I give you an example. I will just improvise and put my focus on these 4-note structures. So I will mainly play 4-note structures and change, of course, from one structure to the next. Sometimes I may just play like different stuff, like maybe more scale-wise passage or something like this, because I don't want to limit myself now only on 4-note structures and just forget thinking about music in a way. So, but I try to focus on them, and maybe all the stuff is 4-note structures at the end. I try. So to give you an example how this idea, how this concept sounds. okay, there are some nice things happening, and you can try to analyze this, to transcribe this, but you can also just, that's actually the approach I'm taking quite often. I take all the possibilities and I practice them, and I listen to them, I try to make music with them, and I play around with them, and then I find out different things. I think, oh, this I know from there, this I know from there, or this sounds nice, and actually I also transcribe, of course, I transcribed a lot of stuff, solos and whatever, but the main discoveries I made by just playing, by just improvising in a way, with certain restrictions, of course. Okay, so go on with that stuff. Try it yourself. Download the drones and try different arpeggio 4-note structures over these and find out yourself what you can do with that. And next lesson will be practicing. We have some patterns also, practicing like 2 alternating 4-note structures. So there also like a kind of harmonic progression comes into play. All right, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Every Friday there will be a new video online. Also, there's a possibility to donate on my website, guitar-academia.com. So, thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand.